Today is January 5th, 2018. It's late on a Friday afternoon. The markets have closed, and I'm out doing what I like to do after a day of sitting in the office, and that's to get out and walk in the foothills, take my dog for a run. The reason I wanted to shoot this video today was to kind of emphasize the fact that if we rely solely on the narrative or on an algorithm or whatever the conventional wisdom is, we can be very misled. And the reason I say that is because today, all around the country, there's been snowstorms. Most of the country is gripped in very cold weather, as a cold front has blown in from Canada. And yet, where I'm at in Utah, you would expect, by looking at the almanac, to see a country that's covered in snow. I mean, generally the area that I'm in right now would have a lot of snowfall and snow cover in it. But you can see here in early January in 2018, that's not the case. And so if you simply went on historical weather data, you would think that right now it would be bitter cold in Salt Lake and that the area I'm in would be, under 2 feet of snow. Maybe the case next year, it may be the case in an average year, but it's not the case this year. And so I don't want to say not to rely on historical data. It's obviously a big part of what I do. I consider myself a student of history, but at the same time, I'm not focusing on just because something happened before, it's likely to happen again. It's just one component that I pull in. The other thing that I wanted to mention, and it struck my mind today as I was doing my walk, is that, when I looked at the temperature, it was, 38 degrees, something like that. Now, if you were in New York City and you were going out for a stroll in the afternoon and it was 38 degrees, you'd be putting on a coat and a hat, maybe a scarf, some gloves. Well, if you see the way I'm dressed, I'm just wearing a simple, light shirt. And in fact, I could have it's long sleeve, but I could have on a short sleeve shirt because it's extremely comfortable. And the reason for that is because it's very low humidity where I'm at in the mountains. It's, I'm at about 5,200 feet above sea level where I'm walking right now. And it's a different microclimate here in the mountains with low humidity than it would be in another part of the United States. And so, if you simply looked at the thermometer without knowing the background and the actual, microclimate of where I'm at, you would think that it would be very cold, but in fact, you can see it's very, very comfortable, and I feel, in fact, getting a little hot from my walk as I go up here in elevation. But that's the point I want to make. Just because the almanac says it's supposed to be a certain way, or just because the temperature says, a certain thing is going to happen, that may not be the actual result that you get in the real world. So ignore the media, ignore the narrative, ignore the supposed experts. Well, those are my thoughts as we start the new year. I appreciate you watching the YouTube channel. Please don't forget to check out the full episodes of the audio version of the Wealthsteading podcast. Until the next episode, as always, this is John Pugliano wishing you the very best returns.